Tom Hanks and Ron Howard are back together again for a brand new Robert Langdon movie. This is called Inferno, and it's based off of the Da Vinci Code and also Angels and Demons. This is the third movie. It's based on the fourth book in the Dan Brown franchise around Langdon. And I got to tell you, man, this felt a little bit different than the last couple of Langdon films from Ron Howard, both of which were okay, but they felt kind of like wet noodles, like just not that satisfying. They didn't really give you enough adventure, and they felt a little safe. This one doesn't feel as safe. This definitely has some of the sort of tenets of the previous films where Langdon is looking at, beautiful artwork in a museum or leafing through books to try to uncover the right clues to solve the mystery that he has found himself in. But there is a lot more danger. There's a lot more at stake in this one. Ben Foster plays this megalomaniac billionaire who is a biologist, and he's crafted this crazy virus that is going to wipe out half of the global population. And Langdon gets sort of thrust into this conspiracy because, of course, he is this bookworm with this incredible knowledge and can help people find where this crazy billionaire has hidden this virus. And he gets kind of roped in and becomes their lightning rod for a bunch of different groups to kind of chase this virus and either set it off or stop it from being set off. And you don't quite know who is on what team. There's a lot of kind of mystery surrounding every individual that Langdon kind of meets throughout this film. And the way that this thing starts off is kind of riveting because Langdon wakes up in a hospital. He's got a head wound. He doesn't know what the hell's going on. He keeps having these nightmarish visions of people with their heads twisted around and feet sticking out of the earth, all burning like in the fiery pits of hell. And there's rivers of blood and buildings exploded everywhere. He doesn't know what the hell he's seeing. And we as audience members are just like, what's going on? What's happening? And so it seems like it's been ratcheted up in terms of violence and chaos and destruction and adventure. And I think that's been kind of a missing component from the previous films. They just didn't really have that sense of, that scariness, that real sense of consequence. This feels like everybody's in real jeopardy and in real danger. And yes, it still feels like Jason Bourne has to stop at a museum and look at some beautiful paintings for a while, which is a little bit strange. And it does feel like we travel to all kinds of tourist destinations, but somehow Langdon and his buddy, played by Felicity Jones, can weave and dodge and get through the crowds and find all kinds of secret entrances and get away from the hordes of, police officers and other agency operatives that are chasing after them. But it's still kind of fun, and it's well crafted. And of course, we go on a kind of a cool tour of Europe. We're in Florence, we're in Venice, we go to Istanbul. There's some beautiful scenery, some really incredible historical locations. And, as an Indiana Jones junkie, I dig this kind of diving into the mysteries of history to kind of solve a plot and solve something that's happening in modern day. And it's always kind of cool to kind of have this scholastic brushstroke to kind of sink into the past like this. I think it's a pretty well crafted story. I think Tom Hanks brings a lot to this role. I think that this is kind of paper thin. We know that Langdon's a scholar. We know that he's a brainiac, and he's going to solve this mystery, and he's going to come out of this thing just fine. He's definitely not as interesting a character as Jason Bourne. He's not as interesting a character as Indiana Jones, but he's done a lot with a little with this thing. And honestly, there's a vitality to this work that I wasn't really expecting out of Ron Howard at this point. This guy's been making movies forever, but he kind of delivers. This is a fun film. It feels fresh. I like the camera work and the cinematography, and there's some beautiful, gorgeous sort of wide shots of Venice from some aerial photography, and I've actually never seen Venice like that in a movie before, and it just takes your breath away, And it's clear that Howard has a love for this material and a love for the subject matter and the sort of diving into this history, and it's fun stuff. It's not the best historical adventure work that's out there by far, but this is definitely the best in the Dan Brown, Robert Langdon movies. I'm going to give Inferno a 7.5 out of 10. Hey, thanks for checking out that video on our EPN channel. It's just one small part of the things that we make around here. So if you liked it, don't forget to check out some of our other vids and hit that subscribe button.